Hey there, Delight here. I'm bringing you a project share today on one of my mixed media pieces that I do. I make these with a stretch canvas on a wood frame. You can see that there's white on white fabric, a white design on the white, so it shows this white fabric of quilting fabric. This one is little white polka dots on white, and I cover the whole canvas first with that to make a good background, and then I assemble pieces of papers that I have made. In this case, these are watercolor papers. Some of the papers are actually watercolor papers, but a lot of times it's things like coffee filters and paper towels, and one of my favorites is deli paper. And what I do is I use really concentrated solutions of watercolor, Winston watercolors in the tubes, but I leave it really intense, not watery looking. And I make a place with a bunch of pieces of paper on an old shower curtain, and then I put the piece of paper down, and I put things over top of them like scrunched up papers, paper doilies, all kinds of stuff. And then I just pour the watercolor on it, and I let it run around, and I kind of scooch it around, and sometimes where it is, I'll take a piece of paper and go like this. Whatever it takes to make the papers take up the color and make some kind of a pattern. I saw this on a thing that I went to. Dick Blick Art Supplies has some how-to art tutorials, and this was one of the things they showed, was how to make these watercolor papers. And I like them because they're so vibrant. It's not wishy-washy watercolor. And I love watercolor. I started out as a watercolorist, but I can't really do watercolor paintings anymore because of my hands. I have no feeling on the insides and on the tips of my fingers. I really am not much in fine motor skills, so I can't handle the brushes anymore. But I still love color, and I still love watercolor. So this is one way I found to use it. And after they dry, which takes a long time, as in days, then I go in with all different kind of things and stamp on them, which is what this was, and just figure out what I want to do with them. Sometimes I just kind of push stuff on them, like this is bubble wrap that I pushed on here, and this I do by just going like this and scrunching it off a little bit. So this is how I make the papers, and I decide what I'm going to do, figure out a little bit of a design, figure out some houses or something, and then I take the pieces of this and I tear them and cut them into all different shapes, and I have a pile of little shapes. When I get the little shapes all together, then I get out one of these canvases, put it in the middle, start arranging the pieces, and some things are pretty deliberate, such as the windows and doors. I cut those out and then I ink around them, same thing, and then I fabricate these. These are just like all the little scraps of green I cluster together and glue in a little thing. I can make a pot, little palm fronds and palm tree, just anything that I need to make some kind of a composition that I like. And I glue it on with Fabri-Tac. And then after this dries, then I use my Faber-Castell markers, watercolor markers that are turned into permanent when they're done. And I use that to do some shading all around. But it makes a really nice, unusual, and these beach shacks make me happy smile. And smiles are good things. So if you want to try something a little bit different, or you have some tubes of almost done paint that you split open and want to use it up, this is a good way to use up leftover products and turn out to have something that you can really enjoy, or give to a friend, or in my case, go to my Etsy shop and buy. Enough said.